Hello. Hi. Um, in the previous session, I saw two questions. I guess Merve, was it? Merve asked about these sentences, if I remember correctly. Text is good. All right. 13 people so far, so let's wait up just a little, 2 minutes, so others won't miss anything, because after that we will continue to Hi. Hello. Merve, I talked about last sentences. I said we don't have time, do we? Okay, let's go back to that. So you're talking about I wish I had more time. This is the sentence, and you said we don't have time, do we? Yes, we don't have time. That person, I wish I had more time. So here we have if. That's doing the job. And here we have the word wish. So it's pretty much here in this context, they are the same in this context. So I wish I had more time. It means that person doesn't have more time. So that's the answer to your question. Let's move on. So it's because this session is a grammar session. It's better to see the construct of the sentences. This is past simple. I played, you played, he, she, it played. There's no change here. We played, you played, and they played. As you can see, regardless who does it, me, you, or plural or singular, it doesn't matter. We always use verb to. Don't confuse it. This is ed, it's regular verb. That's why play, the verb play gets the ed extension. So if it was watch, so as you mentioned earlier, there was an example. So it could have been like I watched, you watched, he, she, it watched, we watched, you watched, and they watched. But if the verb is irregular, then the changes would be different. For example, irregular, cut. So you cut down a tree. It's a bad thing though. But I cut, you cut, he, she, it cut, and pretty much all the same. Some did not. Neglige. All right. And this part is for positive structure, and this is for negative structure. Here's the shorter version. I did not play, I didn't play. These two, they're equal. They mean the same thing. That person didn't play, whatever it is. I didn't play football, I didn't play tennis, I didn't play basketball. These two sentences are same. This is just the writing part that you can see here. They're separate, did and not part, and here they are together. And here is the question part. When you make a question, did comes to the very beginning of the sentence. Did I play? Did you play? Did he, she, it play? Did we play? Did you play? Did they play? So when it comes here, this sentence is a question sentence. And have you noticed the verb play is the verb one? Here, negative part, again, verb one. On a positive structure, it's verb two. This is the main idea of talking about the grammar part of past simple. This is the main part of past simple. Positive sentence, negative sentences, and question mark. As you can see here, I just want to remind you, just a little. The ed part doesn't change, regardless who did it. For example, if we were talking about present simple, if you remember, we add as, for example, watch becomes watches. If the person is he, she, it, third part of singular, the verb changes into with a ladder of s. But here in past simple, we don't change anything. Let's move on. All right, more example. Two boys played with a ball. Now I want you to, these are the verbs, you see, played, walked, swept, catch, change, steal, forget, and forgot. Oh, it's given. So what I want you to do is to text in the chat box, for example, two boys played with a ball. Write the verb one version of played in the chat box. Second sentence, an old lady walked with her dog. So there's an old lady, she walked with her dog. So what is the first version of walked? It is walk. All right. Swept. A gardener swept up dead leaves. This sweep. My father didn't catch the last train. Okay, the first three sentences, as you see here, they're positive sentences. Someone did something, and they played, walked, swept. But here, my father didn't catch the last train. So this is the negative form of the past simple. As you can see, catch is the verb one version. So my father didn't catch the last train is the negative version. I didn't change my shoes. Here's another negative sentence. I didn't change my shoes. So that's negative. So the verb change is not changing actually. What does it mean? Swept. Swept means okay, I'm going to explain you like this. A gardener is a person who cleans the garden. So dead leaves, they're on the trees. Every autumn they fall off the trees. So this guy clears the dead leaves off the floor, off the ground. So swept is cleaning the ground. Well, not exactly cleaning, but taking something off the ground. Zerin, I guess, yeah, that's the correct answer. Okay, let's move on. I didn't change my shoes. You didn't steal my wallet. These are the three negative sentences. So here we say change, the verb one. You didn't steal my wallet. This is the verb one version. Steal and stole. Did you forget your identity card at the office? So this is the question. We put the did in the beginning of the sentence, and then remember the verb forget is the verb one. So we are not changing this. Here's the key part. If you see this negative part and question part, that you see did, the word did here. If you see this in a sentence, always use the verb one. That's the key part. Yes, I forgot my identity card at the office. So this is the question, and this is the answer. Did you forget your identity card at the office? Yes, I forgot my identity card at the office. So here we use the verb one, and here we use the verb to. As you can see, there's no did or didn't in that sentence, so we are using the verb to. Alright, let's move on. Now I need you to participate in this exercise. We have 10 questions. I'm going to magnify the screen so that you can read better, like this. Using the simple past tense, fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the verbs shown in brackets. At noon, she washed her car. So here's the first sentence, and this is the example of how we're going to do it. This is the time expression, at noon. As you can see, we can start with a time expression. It doesn't have to be at the end of the sentence. So at noon, she washed her car. So the verb is yes, Kyra, you saw, yeah. Kyra is doing the second sentence. She washed her car. So the verb is wash. So we use this verb to and put it here. This is a question, right? There's a question mark. So for the second sentence, you see Mary last night. So this is a question. How do we start to a question? Did you see Mary? Thank you. Yes. Merve, Zerrin, Tuba. Yes, it's correct. Did you see Mary last night? It's because a question, we don't change the verb. Did you see Mary last night? Question 3. Last Monday, Peter, here's the bracket, and it says not look. So it's a negative sentence. The verb is here, look. For Chelsea in the shopping center, Chelsea is here, C is capital, so that's a person. It is a person, girl. Last Monday, Peter didn't look for Chelsea in the shopping center. Thank you, Zerrin. Elif, yes. Ayberk, Yaşam, correct. Last Monday, Peter didn't look for Chelsea in the shopping center. You're doing great, guys, by the way. Let's look at the fourth one. Hey, blah, blah, blah. The match all the night. He watched the match all the night. So this is how we're doing it. It's simple. Look at the sentences, 10 of them. Look at here. Time expression, it could be in the beginning or in the end, it doesn't matter. Who is doing what? So he, I, question, Johan, Maggie, Mike, Sheila. So these are the people, and right after the subject we are adding verb into the sentence. So he watched the match all the night. Question 5. I live in Paris. So the fifth one is I lived in Paris. That's correct. It's easy, isn't it? I lived in Paris. Okay, I have a question. That person, let's call him John. John live in Paris. This is the structure. So the meaning, is he still in Paris? That's the question. That person, fifth question, is he still in Paris? If I go like this, I lived in Paris. I lived in Paris. I lived in Paris. So no, yes, that's correct. No, that person is not in Paris anymore. So as you can see, past simple is something happened in the past and it's finished. I am not in Paris anymore. So I lived in Paris. Question 6. I beg. Verbs should be. I beg has a question. Verbs should be used in second form for affirmative sentences. Yes. When we use the positive structure, we always use verb to. Question 6. Did she live in England? As Kyra says here in the chat box, did she live in England? Why live? Why? The reason is simple. We saw the did here. When I say this, I automatically use the verb one. That's the answer. Zainab has a question. Using simple past for dead people. Would we not use the single past? Simple past, I guess that's simple. We use past simple for the people who passed away. So, question 7. Joanne for pretty at the fun fair. P is again, check, it's capital letter, so it's a person. Joanne looked for pretty at the fun fair. Yes, the answer is looked. So you can see, I'm going to ask another question about these verbs. But before that, let me explain you very quickly. She washed. So the verb wash has the ed part here. So wash is regular verb. See, it becomes saw. So see is an irregular verb. Look. The verb to version of look is looked. So looked, the verb look is regular verb. When we use watch, the verb to version of watch is watched. I live in Paris, when we use live, we add d again, so it's lived. So it's again regular verb. Here the same. Did she live in England? Joanne looked for Pretty at the fun fair. Yesterday, Maggie went to school. Go becomes went. So go, verb, is an irregular verb. The verb itself is not taking ed. Saturday night, Mike took the tube. Tube is British English. It's basically subway. Saturday night, Mike took the tube. Question 10. At 10, Sheila writes a letter. So this is a positive sentence. So we are going to use the verb to version of write. Yes, Onur, that's correct. Sheila wrote a letter. We have many more examples of past simple, but I want to use the time efficiently. Let's move up to the present perfect part, and we will come back to this later on. These are all about past simple. Now, present perfect tense. So, present perfect. As I explained to you before, the past simple is about the finished event. Something happened in the past and they are finished. So present perfect. So basically, these two tenses are related with past. They're not future. They're not right now. That you're not planning to do anything in future. The both tenses are about the past. The things are starting in the past, happening in the past, but there are some differences. So I'm going to tell you about these differences now. Are you guys ready? So let's move on. Present perfect simple. Well, first of all, Kyra, can you write it in English? Present perfect. Okay, guys. This is not a chemistry lesson, okay? You don't have to memorize every formula. You don't have to stick it on the wall, on your wall, and memorize it. You need to understand the concept. Why I say I have eaten breakfast, or I didn't eat breakfast. Why do I do it? You need to understand the concept. Formula part is the easiest part. You just memorize it. That's it. But if you want to excel, you just need to use it, so you can get better. Let's see the concept of present perfect simple. Unfinished. So, okay, the question is how? Like, how is it unfinished? It's about past. Then how is it not finished? Unfinished action. Here's the how long, duration, unfinished time word. So we have keywords and finished part, but there are some details here. Life experience, present result, and news, recent events. These are the key parts for the finished part. So I'm going to explain you one by one. How long? For example, let's see how it is done. I have known Karen since 1994. She has lived in London for 3 years. So here's the explanation. Present perfect shortly is something happened in the past and it is still continuing now, or it's the result is continuing. For example, I have known Karen. So known is the verb know, that you know it, okay? I have known Karen. Karen is a person. Here's the capital letter K, so it's a name. Since 1994. So it is 2020 now, and I know Karen since 1994. But here's the thing. You met Karen, met as in nice to meet you. That meet is verb to met. So you met Karen in 1994. All right? So since then, you know Karen. So you still know Karen. She has lived in London for 3 years. So for 3 years, she is in London. So that person, that girl, she has lived in London for 3 years. So it's still, this is the talking about duration. You can also use since 2010, it's a date. Since July, it's a month. For 10 years, it's the duration, for how long. For 3 days. So it's a year, or day, or month. It's you can always use present perfect. I'll get back to this within examples later on. Moving on, unfinished time word. So here you can see finished part, and it's connected here. So I'm going to explain you. Unfinished time period, time word. So this is actually time period. For example, this month we are in March. So this month is still on. We are in the month of March. So let's say I haven't seen a person, all right? And I'm saying this month because this month hasn't finished yet. So I use present perfect, all right? This month, let's say this week, for example, this week I haven't gone to theater. You know, coronavirus and all, it's all shut down, and I didn't see anything. I didn't go out. So when I talk about this week, that time period is not finished, then I can use present perfect. You can also use it for today, this week, this month, this year, this century, and goes on. Present results. I have lost my keys. Okay, guys, pay attention to this. This is the part many of you confuse. What is present result? Present is, it means now. So here's the result. So an action happened in the past, and we can see the result now. So I have lost my keys. It means the keys are not on me. What if I say I lost my keys? I lost my keys, past simple, let's say, I lost my keys. Verb 2 and verb 3 version of lose are the same. They are both lost. I lost my keys. If I say it like that, it means I'm telling you a story which is finished. That I found my keys later on, or I called the blacksmith to open my door, etc. Do you have any questions up until now? Do you have any questions? After this schematics, I'll show you more examples, of course. Talking about present perfect, life experience, of course. For example, I have been to Tokyo. This person might not be in Tokyo anymore. Here's a key part. Look, Tuba, I don't understand present result. Okay, let me explain. Do you understand this sentence? I lost my keys. The keys that you opening the door, right? Okay. This is the present perfect structure. I have lost my keys. But you can say I lost my keys. That's also a past event that happened in the past. But I need to say something like this. It is unfinished. All right, Tuba. For example, I'm calling you and I'm telling you, Tuba, I have lost my keys. So, what happens if I tell you I have lost my keys? The question you ask would be like this. Oh my God, what are you going to do now? Because you know I have lost it and I still don't have them. But if I tell you something like I lost my keys, as in past simple, I don't have to tell you it is past simple. American, British, or Australian people don't tell each other the tenses and communicate with each other. They say it and the listener understands the subject. For example, if I tell you I lost my keys, then your question would be, okay, then how did you find them? Where did you find them? What did you do later on? That's these would be the questions that you might ask. Life experience. This guy being to Tokyo. Look, check this out. Life experience. Talking about life that this guy or girl has done in his life. So I have been to Tokyo means that this person is talking about his life experience. It does not mean that person is still in Tokyo or vice versa. And you can always use with ever and never. Like in question, have you ever been to Tokyo? Or I have never been to Tokyo, which is true. I've never been to Tokyo, by the way. And news, recent events. The Queen has given a speech. The Queen has given is give, gave, given a speech. It means basically Queen has talked to people. we can use these words in this sentence. The Queen has just given a speech. It means it's a recent event. It just happened. All right? Let's move on. I'm sure you will have better understanding with the examples. Unfinished actions. Here we go. I'm going to explain why we use these, and I'll give you examples. We use this tense present perfect when we want to talk about unfinished actions or states or habits that started in the past and continue to the present. For example, losing a key. I have lost my keys. If I still don't have them, so how I'm going to explain it to you that I don't still have my keys on me? So I say, I have lost my keys. I have lost my keys means I don't have my keys. It happened. I lost it sometime in the past. I don't know and I don't care. And I still don't have them. That's the main part for the present perfect. When you give a timeline for duration, how long, we use present perfect. We have, I guess, limited time, so I'm going to move a bit faster. But if you have any questions, please do ask so I can explain. This is, for example, I have known Karen since 1994. We cannot say in 1994 because then it would be a specific time frame, so that would be past simple. I want to show you the structure of present perfect. Here you can see I have done, you have done, he, she, it has done. We have done, you have done, and they have done. So this is the affirmative positive sentence. And this is the long version. Here's in Turkish, long version. So I have not done, you have not done, he, she, it has not done. So when you see a single person, singular person, we use has. This is the structure. So in order to use that correctly, please pay attention to the person who is doing it. And this is the short version. I have not done, I haven't done, you haven't done, he, she, it hasn't done, we haven't done, you haven't done, and they haven't done. So these are the contractions. Is there any difference if you say I have not done my homework or I haven't done my homework? Is there any difference between them? No, it's just compare it with your main language. Assume that you're speaking Turkish. Would it make so much difference if you say it longer or shorter? That's the same for English. And this is the question part. Have I done? Have you done? Has she, he, it done? So we put it in the beginning of the sentence. So these are the types that we're using, sentence types of present perfect. It's pretty much, the structures they look alike. If you want to make question mark, you put did in the beginning of the sentence for past simple, and for present perfect we put have or has in the beginning of the sentence. But remember, this is the crucial part for grammar I'm talking about. We use the verb 3. Actually, many of you know it as verb 3, but the official name for it is past participle. All right? I'm going to zoom in so you can take a look at it one more time. All right. Examples, more examples. I think I have seen that movie before. I think I have seen that movie before. So what is this guy is talking about? He's talking about life experience, that there is no specific time. For example, tomorrow when you are talking about this class, how will you say it? Tomorrow, it's Monday, so you're going to say Sunday, on Sunday, or yesterday. Yesterday, I took an online class on Justenglish YouTube page, or Justenglish online page. So, well, you're not going to say, I have taken a class in Justenglish. Neklege, teacher finish. Teacher finish? Okay, I will. I'm showing you all these pages, so later on when you watch this another time, next time, so maybe you can take a screenshot of these examples. Do you guys want me to finish? Guys, you want me to finish? Okay, let me talk about the differences between these two. Then we will finish, all right? What's the difference? No metaphor. Okay. What is the difference between present perfect and past simple? I'm going to show you very quickly the difference. The first one. Present perfect. Unfinished actions that started in the past and continue to the present up until now. I have known Julie for 10 years. So you met Julie 10 years ago and I still know her. That's the thing. That's the situation when you need to use present perfect. Let's look at the finished action, which is past simple. I knew Julie. Look at the construct. I have known, present perfect. I knew, past simple. I knew Julie, same person, Julie. I knew Julie for 10 years. So, but now somehow she moved away and I lost touch with her. So I don't see her anymore. Okay? So I've known Julie for 10 years and you still know Julie and you're meeting her. You're having a relationship somehow, and here you have no connection anymore. It is finished. For example, you don't have to say it is finished. You're talking, you're having a conversation, all right? And you want to tell to the person, for example, Merve is talking to Hilal, okay? Merve is talking about Ayşe. So Merve says, Hilal, I knew Ayşe for 2 years, for 10 years. What does it mean? It means Hilal knows that Merve doesn't see Ayşe anymore. Merve doesn't have to say that she doesn't see her anymore. Doesn't have to, because the sentence itself is very clear. All right? Let's move on to the second one. A finished action in someone's life when the person is still alive, life experience. So my brother has been to Mexico 3 times. This is a life experience. There is no specific time. This guy is talking about a life experience. In the past simple, my great-grandmother went to Mexico 3 times. Look at the difference. A finished action in someone's life when the person is dead. So when I say my brother has been to Mexico 3 times, I don't need to say my brother is still alive. So here, my great-grandmother, or let's say my brother again, my brother went to Mexico 3 times. I don't need to say my brother has passed away. So this is finished action. When I say went, it means it's finished. That's the key. All right, that's the part you need to pay attention. And I'm going to wrap it up very quickly. I need to show you the other parts. Third part. Here's the famous example, a finished action with a result in the present. With a result in the present. Okay, it happened in the past. What happened? I have lost my keys. So I don't have my keys on me. The result is that I cannot get into my house now. This is the result. But losing the key, it happened in the past. And for the past simple, a finished action with no result in the present. I lost my keys yesterday. It was terrible. Now there is no result. I got new keys yesterday or whatever. Or you changed the door. You changed the apartment. Moving on. With an unfinished time word. This week. This week means that the week that you're still in. The week is not finished. For example, it's Sunday today, so you can still call it this week. So this week has not finished. So you can say, I have seen John this week. So what does it mean? This week is not finished, so we use present perfect. But here's the last week with a finished time word. This is finished time. Last week, it's finished. It's last Sunday, last week, last month, it doesn't matter. I saw John last week. So we use present simple. Guys, I'd like to show you one more thing, but I think I don't have time anymore. I'm gonna show you very, very, very quickly this part. Usage. It will take only 1 or 2 minutes. But there is another session after me, so I will be We might have another lesson in the future. I don't promise, but we might have. Let me show you this very shortly that you can watch later on. Usage, present perfect. Here's the timeline, okay? Here's now that we are now watching this video, right? This lesson, time of speaking. Action completed at some point in the past, but we don't know when, and we don't care when. That's when we use present perfect. Past simple. Action, something is happening here. Action completed at a specific time in the past. For example, yesterday, 2 weeks ago, when I was 10, when I was at school. For example, when I was 10, what does it mean? If you're 20 years old now, it means 10 years ago, right? So it's basically the same thing, when I was 10. But it's completed here. Here, with present perfect, the time is not specific, okay? But it might somehow affect now. For example, I have lost my keys. You have lost it here, and somehow it's affecting you. Affecting you right now. So, past simple, events that happen in the past. And here's the usage, action that is complete at the time of speaking. I have studied 3 sections until now. I have already done half of the exercises. He has driven 500 kilometers so far. So this is for present perfect, and here's the past simple, action completed at a specific time in the past. See the specific time range. Last night. It is not last night anymore. Before lunch. Yesterday. He drove 5 kilometers yesterday. He's not driving anymore. It's finished. It's done. And there are some common mistakes. I will go over quickly. For example, the first part is the correct version of this. And the second part is the wrong version. It's a mistake. We bought this car 2 months ago. So we have bought this car 2 months ago. This is a mistake. We are not using it like this. Why? There is a time period, 2 months ago. It's not important that you still have the car with you. It doesn't matter if you still own the car. It doesn't matter. You bought this car 2 months ago. You're giving a specific time. Alright? If you're giving time, then it's basically past simple, because you're saying this, it means you care about the time. You're talking about a specific time in the past. I slept well last night. This is the correct version. I slept well last night. It's the same, last night. So when I say last night, I don't use present perfect. So I have slept well last night. It's a mistake. She met him when she was at college. She has met him when she was at college. Look at here. You might ask this, but there is no time here. But listen to this. When she was at college. So it is a specific time. Alright? So if because it's a specific time, she was at college, then we are using past simple. We don't need to say back in 1997. Alright, when you say when she was at college, it means back in the past. And last example, I have already called him. I already called him. So this is the correct version of the sentence. Alright, thank you guys for joining to this lesson. I hope you had fun. Hope to see you again. See you.